Welcome to Business Ethics Online. My name's Craig. I'm going to be the tour guide that takes you through this course this semester, and hopefully it will be a positive experience for all of us. I apologize for doing this screencast a little bit late, but life gets crazy sometimes, especially when we're in the spring and summer. Um, I've been out of town. I just got back into town. I'm just getting ready to leave to go back out of town for another week. So it's just been kind of crazy, and in all of the excitement and getting the things done I need to get done, I miss this. So we're all walking in a little bit scatterbrained, maybe a little bit cautious, maybe some a bit fearful, some great excitement. We all bring a different emotion, and those emotions are good as long as they're held in check. And so as a result of that, I want us to enjoy this class. There are things that will upset you. There are things that will excite you. I'm an equal opportunity offender, so I tend to offend everybody before it's all over. But one thing I must say is this. Everything we do in this class is based on respect. Respect builds trust. I'm walking into this. I don't know any of you as students. I've never met any of you, or I may not have met any of you. Maybe I've met some of you and don't know it. But we all walk in, and one thing that I'm going to tell you up front is I trust you as a student until you prove to me I can't trust you. And I expect the same from you. If you have a problem with me, get a hold of me. Give me a call. Give me a text. Send me an email. We'll resolve it. In over 12, going on 13, maybe 14 years of teaching, I've never yet had to take any issue I've had with a student to anybody above myself because we've resolved it. And if we both come and everyone approaches each other as an adult with respect, respect doesn't mean that I have to accept what you say. Respect means that I respect you as a person, and we are allowed to have our differences. However, respect doesn't mean that I can tell you what to believe, but respect means that I'll listen to what you have to say. Okay? I've had students who've changed my points of view over the years that I've been a teacher. That's because there's been respect, and it's flown both ways. I've influenced other students with an opinion that I might have had, and the argument that I bring, not in an arguing form, but in a dialogue. And they look at it and go, wow, I've never perceived it that way. But I will tell you this, everything that you find and you hear and you read in this class, I want you to take it back, and I want you to analyze it. I want you to critically think about it, and I want you to come up with your own definitions, your own beliefs, your own standards, your own parameters, and not rely on the parameters of others. Having said that, I want to talk about some things that will happen in this class. The first thing that's most important is if you go up to the corner here and click on course materials and you go to content, you will see that everything you need is here. Getting started. If you need to get your textbook, if you didn't get it from the school library or bookstore, that's fine. Click this link right here. It's going to take you directly to a link, and you can actually buy it straight from the publisher right there. This is the one that you want, the $49.95 downloadable text. If you purchased your one at the bookstore, it should be similar to this. Just make sure you redeem the code, and when you do, it should be this one right here. At least that's what I've instructed them to do. Okay, so that's important. And then secondly, I want us to look at a couple of other things. Syllabus is the Bible. You do what it says, right? If you don't do what it says, you may not do as well as you'd like. All the information's in here. Information about me, and here's my lead. He'd be the guy that you would contact if you need to, but like I say, come to see me first, because if you'll go to him, he's going to say, oh, have you talked to Craig about it? And if you say no, he'll say, well, then I have nothing to say. Go talk to Craig, and if he can't resolve it, come see me or get a hold of me. Okay, we're going to go through this. This is just information. This talks about all the different assignments that we have throughout the period, how many points belong to each thing, what things are, when they're due. We have 9 quizzes, and actually it says we're limited to 60 minutes. I actually give you 2 hours, and there's 4 writing assignments. Here's when they're due. Late policy we'll see in a minute. There's one bigger paper. It's 12 to 1500 words. It requires 5 scholarly sources. Must be written in APA format. All of that will be seen here shortly. All assignments must be submitted in DOC, DOCX, or ODT format only. Okay, do not send me a PDF. Okay, I will not grade it. Do not send me pages. I have a Mac. I cannot stand that program. I will not use that program. You can convert it to a doc or a docx and send it to, and submit it that way. All assignments must, emphasis must, be submitted in the proper Dropbox. Okay? Every assignment that gets graded has under here in assignments a Dropbox. Go to that Dropbox, and that's where you need to submit your stuff. Okay? So kind of keep that in mind. Here's the late policies, the 4 short writing assignments, 10% for every 24-hour period. The current issues paper is due. It's at 20% for every 24-hour period. That's 100 points. This is 40 points. Quizzes cannot be reopened, cannot be taken after the deadline, and you get a 0 for non-completion. Don't even call. Don't send me an email and give me an excuse. You've got 168 hours in a week, and you have 168 hours to take this quiz. Okay, so don't wait till 11:15 on Sunday night, and then your internet drops. Internet dropping is not an excuse for a late assignment. Okay, I expect your assignments early. I don't expect them late. Okay, and I apologize that this assignment that I'm giving you now, this screencast, is late, but that's one of the things. We have to do that in order for us to stay on task. Okay, a lot happens. We're doing 15 weeks worth of work in 10 weeks, and a lot is going on. Okay, discussions open at 12:01 on Monday. They close at 6 p.m. on Friday. Okay, after 6 p.m. on Friday, you can read discussion posts, but you cannot post. Okay, so keep that in mind, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. A couple of other things. This is stuff you just need to read, and it's stuff that's there. Important dates, that kind of thing. And then there's a course schedule, and obviously if you print this out, it'll come out a little bit different. This happens when we go through Cyberville. This tells you what's due every week. So this week, discussions will close at 6 on Saturday. This week only, because we didn't start class till Tuesday. Okay, understand that. Discussions normally will close at 6 o'clock on Friday, beginning week 2 and going through the remainder of the semester. Okay, here's when your quiz is due. Here's week 2. Here's the dates of week 2. Here, everything that needs to be done. Your first post must be posted by Wednesday, June 9th. That's your initial post. Okay, you can post sooner, but if you post later, you won't get full points. Okay, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So all of the things that are due are going to be laid out here, and you can see them laid out. Everything's here. Everything's available. Everything's last week of school is a piece of cake. However, the first 3 weeks of school are a little more hectic because you have 2 chapters in the first 3 weeks. You know why I do that? So that you can get done with all the heavy work, and that makes the rest of your semester much easier, because a lot of your teachers tend to throw things in the middle or at the end, and I tend to think things should get a little bit easier at the end. Okay, so the online discussion threads each week. You must post on 3 different days. That is a requirement. Okay, post on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can post on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't care when you post, right? As long as you post on 3 days. You must post a minimum of 4 times. The first post will be your response. I will give you a prompt and you'll post that response. Then the rest of your postings, the other 3 or more if you choose. You can do as many posts. I have students that will post 12, 15 times in every discussion thread. Okay, but the minimum is 4. But you have to spread those 4 out on at least 3 different days. Okay, don't come back to me in a week and say, I didn't know that. The information's right here. I just shared it with you. Let's see, they're due by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, the initial response, okay? And then you can go from there, okay? You have to post an original message before you can read or respond to any of your classmates' posts, okay? Once they close, you can still read them. And this is important as well. You get graded 4 points for each post, and you get 4 points for reading. 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on the percent of posts that you read. Now you have to understand that discussion threads are a classroom. Okay? That's your attendance right there, is based on what you do off of this page right here, page 10 in your syllabus. Okay, so keep that in mind. You have a reading journal each week except for week 1 and week 10. Here's a guideline. Here's an outline you can follow to make it easy. Don't give me an outline of the chapter. I've already read it. I know what's in it. Okay? I want your thoughts. The reading journal is about how you think about the subjects in the book. Okay? Don't give me the book written over. Give me your thoughts. It's all about you. I expect a single page, double-spaced minimum without a header. Okay? If you want to give me more than that, I have a lot of students who give me 2, 3, 4 pages. The vast majority of my students will give me a page and a half to 2 pages, and that's really what I consider a good reading journal. So keep that in mind. Okay? So once again, no header required on a reading journal. Okay? And then you have your current issues paper, and we'll talk about that. I'll give you some information as we get further into the semester. Okay? So the other things I want to talk about, that the most important to me is the reading journal and this. But if we go to, let me get back to a page here. We go back to, and then one other thing on this page before I go too far. Here you're going to have weekly topics. So if you go to the weekly topics, click on week 1. You get some introductory comments, and then you get, here's the reading assignment, click on it. Here's a link to your first discussion thread. Here's a link to your second discussion thread. Here's a link to the quiz. Okay, if you go to week 2, guess what happens? Everything that's due is right here. That's the reading assignment. Here's the Dropbox for your chapter 3. Here's a Dropbox for your chapter 4. Here's a link to your You Be the Professor. And on the You Be the Professor discussion, I'll do it here since I'm here. On You Be the Professor, what you do is you need to pose a question. Okay? You are the one who's going to pose, you're going to start the discussion. Okay? So when you get to that side, you can do anything except for a subject related to my discussion that I post. Okay? But other than that, you can post whatever you want. Okay? As long as it pertains to the textbook. And you will need the textbook if you want to pass this class. I'm just going to throw that out. It's very, very important. Okay, here's a link to the second discussion thread. And here's a link to the Dropbox for your first writing assignment. Here's a link to your quiz. And so that's how it's going to go throughout the entire semester. Okay, so just a few highlighted points. You can go to the grade book. I keep it very regular. I try to grade as fast and as quickly as possible, make life as easy for you as possible, and I will communicate. If you need to communicate with me, do not send me an email from your Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, MSN, Comcast. I can't accept those. I need an email from your D2L account or from your UC or your CCCS.students or whatever that email is, okay? So you have to email me through one of those two, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, once again, we're here to learn about business ethics. The first 4 chapters deal a lot with just concepts of ethics. If you've taken an ethics class, it'll be a lot of repetition. I don't go into nearly the detail that I would if I were teaching a philosophy class or an ethics class. Okay, we're looking at things a little bit differently. When you do your short writing assignments, realize that there really isn't a right or wrong answer to my questions, but I'm looking for information. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to think outside the box. I'm looking for you to think critically. If you don't think critically, I have no problem letting you know that you didn't. Okay, and it will be reflected in your grade. I grade the first one pretty easy. I grade the second one pretty easy. The third one a little harder. And by then we're at the current issues paper, and I expect a lot of critical thinking and sources to support that thought process. Okay, so if you have any questions, email me. My cell phone is on the front page of the syllabus. You can text me. You can call me. Do not call me after 9:30 p.m. Because I won't answer it, and then I'll give you a little bit of a nastygram when I get back to you the next day. Okay, if you're a night owl, I apologize for that. I'm not. So I like to sit down and relax and read a little bit and then go to bed, and I don't like to be bothered after that. That's just me as a person. So if you can respect that, I can respect anything that you have as well. Let's have a great semester, and I look forward to seeing you in class.